アニゲーミングこうよアニよ楽しい冒険スタートだ
Welcome everyone to oldtacosandgeeks.com Any Gaming. This is episode 29. I know it's been a minute. I apologize. I've been busy. As you can see with UWL and life, just life hits, guys. That's all I could say is life hits. So I'm gonna try to stay consistent as much as I possibly can on the channel, on the website. But I am, to be honest with you guys, winding down when it comes to this stuff as I am shifting my focus on other venues and other avenues, such as my first novel that's coming out next year. So I've been really working on that. But that does not stop this from going. So let's talk about today's anime game. We're back into the world of Neon Genesis Evangelion with, and for my Japanese people out there, my Japanese peeps out there, please forgive my pronunciation because you know it sucks no matter how much takes I do. So I'm going to try. Today we're going to be talking about Meitantei Evangelion, which is a forgotten PS2 mystery game with Evangelion characters. So, or let's just put it in translation, Detective Evangelion, to make my life easier. So this was released exclusively in Japan in January 2007, and fans expected another mech-driven angel fighting adaptation of the legendary anime. Instead, they received a murder mystery visual novel that pushed Shinji Ikari into the role of a detective rather than a pilot. And nearly 2 decades later, it's still one of the strangest but bolding and intriguing entries in the Evangelion games. Hey, why not, right? So rather than revisiting the series of its apocalyptic battles or psychological breakdowns, Detective Evangelion builds its narrative around a string of murders shaking Tokyo 3, and Shinji, of all people, becomes that reluctant investigator pulled into the chaos with familiar faces. Of course, we have Rei, you have Asuka, you have Masato, and of course, the other classic characters that are woven naturally into the case. And the plot unfolds through conversations. You got clue hunting and a gradual tightening of tension. While the tone is lighter and less existential than the anime, the central mystery, I should say, provides just enough twists and turns and character interactions that, surprisingly enough, keeps you engaged. And it feels like a side door into the Evangelion world, one where witness the cast reacting to danger on a human scale rather than the cosmic scale that we're used to when it comes to the angels. Now, in terms of gameplay, the heart of the experience lies in the investigation structure. You explore locations, you gather keywords, you interview suspects, and slowly assemble the truth behind the killings. It's essential for a visual novel with interactive layers. Occasionally, you have Ava related action sequences and meeting games. Let's just say those parts are less to be desired because the controls aren't really that good, especially when it comes to the action in this. But I would say the big highlight of this is the detective work. And it's asking the right questions. You're piecing together information, you're connecting threads, and it gives the game a quite sense of satisfaction. I was really shocked after I beat it. And the action segments are less polished, feeling more like brief interludes than core mechanics, but they do add a variety and remind players that the Evangelion world still looms in the background. Those who approach it expecting a traditional type of JRPG or Met type of battler, you're gonna be disappointed. This ain't the game for you. But anyone else who likes those visual novels or something that enjoys like this narrative-driven adventures, you'll find some comfort and you'll find that this format was actually pleasantly surprising. And the visual style. So this was released in the twilight years of the PS2, and the game looks exactly how you expect the mid 2000 anime titles to look like. You have the clean character portraits, you got those simple environments, you got the modest 3D models that get the game, it gets the job done without the flashiness. And during the dialogue scenes, the presentation, I will admit, is crisp and easy to follow. And the action scenes, like I said, it's clunky, but you know what? It's to mid 2000s, guys. Like it's hard to rip on something, one, that you grew up with, and two, now with the advancement of it, you gotta just look at it like a lot of these games that I do on any gaming, they're just a product of their time. Like these were, for us back in the days, it was revolutionary. For this new generation, they're probably looking at like, what the hell? Are you serious? So, it's visually, it captures Evangelion pretty well. Now, occasionally it did struggle with that, but the sound design is always a spot with these Evangelion games, and the inclusion of the original Japanese voice cast just added that weight of authenticity, and it just does a good job of preserving the personalities that you expect from your characters. Shinji is Shinji, Masato is Masato, and the voice acting ends up doing most of the atmospheric building and world building and the heavy lifting for it. So, replay value, how does it hold up to this day? Well, the game is a niche. It's one of those games where once the mystery is solved, there's not much incentive to return unless you are a completionist or you're just a diehard Evangelion fan like me, who's just curious about those alternate scenes and missing details that you probably didn't pick up on your first playthrough. But overall, as a one-off experiment, Detective Evangelion, you know what? It's not bad. It offers this kind of what if side of the Evangelion universe that's rarely explored, grounded in human stakes and quiet tension, and reimagines the roles for one of its most emotional characters in anime. I mean, Shinji Ikari. And it may not have that visceral impact of piloting the Ava, but it's still a nice world building type of game with some of your favorite anime characters. Since this is a visual novel, I'm not going to play this one. So this is Justin from, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't have time to play this one. So this is Justin from Any Gaming. I will be back very, very soon. I promise, I promise, I promise. I promise you guys, I'll be back very soon with another episode. I'll do episode 30, and then I will have to figure out what I'm going to be doing. So later days, my friends. If you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. This is episode 29, Detective Evangelion. Please continue to check out the other playlists that I am consistent on, such as UWL Uprising, UWL Saturday Night Slam, and our Friday Fight Nights is back as well. I'll be back soon. Later days.